trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everybody. We start with the weather as we take a live look outside right now with our sky cam. That wet weather winding down. Tim Studebaker is live in the Weather Center with more for us this afternoon. Hi, Tim.
Yeah, good afternoon to you. We've been dealing with light rain all throughout the morning. Right now, there's just a few showers left, mostly south of Providence, the southern half of Rhode Island, the southern half of southeastern Massachusetts, still seeing some showers on the radar. Those are coming to an end pretty shortly here. And for the rest of the afternoon, we'll have clouds and some patchy fog. That fog already showing up on the visibility maps, 2.5 mile visibility in Newport, 1 3/4 mile for Westerly, 3 miles in Providence, and 7 mile visibility for New Bedford right now. Temperatures aren't really moving much today. We've been in the 50s since this morning. We'll be in the 50s through this afternoon and through tonight, too. Winds about 10 to 12 miles per hour in some spots. Newport, 12 mile per hour wind right now, 9 miles per hour for Providence and 10 in New Bedford. And that's it. This is not a strong system that's coming through. This is a very weak disturbance that's providing the rain showers now, and as such, not a lot of wind because it's not a strong storm. Temperatures in the 50s the rest of this afternoon, lots of clouds, some patchy fog. The rest of your forecast coming up straight ahead. Doreen.
All right, Tim, thanks. Now to news new at noon today. Long wait times at Hasbro Children's Hospital. Lifespan addressing these capacity constraints that it's facing in its emergency room. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is speaking with hospital staff as patient wait times continue to grow. He is live in Providence with more. Yanni?
Yeah, Hasbro Children's Hospital, Doreen, saying that they are seeing an increase in wait times for their emergency room. Now, part of this is due to COVID cases, and the Rhode Island Department of Health telling ABC6 that right now in the state, they have just fewer than 5 children under the age of 18 positive for COVID in hospital. But another factor at play for the reason for these spike in hospitalizations is behavioral health issues. Now, in total, Hasbro Children's Hospital has about 30 beds in their emergency department, and according to their medical director, those beds are overflowing currently by about a dozen plus patients, causing wait times for children to extend for hours on end. Now, the hospital is recommending that children with less acute symptoms and illnesses instead visit their primary care provider.
All of those things are sort of creating this perfect storm that unfortunately you'll feel the impact if you come in on one of the busy days in the emergency department. Just today, there are people who have been waiting 7 hours to be seen. That was similar yesterday as well. How do we create flex plans where on days it gets busier, how we sort of flex to sort of accommodate the increased volume?
And Overly says these increased wait times have been going on throughout the whole pandemic, but they are also seeing a spike in the last 6 to 8 weeks in the hospital, saying that they are also dealing with some staffing shortage issues due to some hospital staff being positive for COVID, and that is causing some of these wait times to extend as they are understaffed at this time. And Overly says that they are working on plans to try to develop ways to better fill staff throughout the whole building so that wait times can be minimized. In Providence, Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
All right, Yanni, thank you. And health officials in Massachusetts announcing a case of monkeypox virus in the state. It's in a man who recently went to Canada. He tested positive for the infectious disease. According to the Department of Health, monkeypox is rare and it typically begins with flu-like symptoms and swelling of the lymph nodes, plus a rash on the face and body. The person who has it now is in the hospital. And the Rhode Island Department of Health saying that one child in Rhode Island has been diagnosed with hepatitis C. This among hundreds in a mysterious nationwide outbreak. That news coming as the department rolled out a hepatitis C elimination plan. The department's 5-year plan includes passing legislation to create harm reduction centers, update clinical guidance, and expanding access to hepatitis C care in high priority populations. Rhode Island ranks 10th in most cases per capita. If you're planning a trip to Block Island this summer, things may be different than years past in terms of security. The Block Island Town Council has voted not to pay Rhode Island State Police to have patrol troopers on the island. State Police were asking for nearly $50,000 for the troopers. Block Island has never had to pay for patrols in the past. Governor McKee has a press briefing a little later today where he's expected to be asked about that vote. And later today on Smith Hill, the House Finance Committee will meet to discuss multiple pieces of health care legislation. One of those bills allows for abortions to be covered by Medicaid. Medicaid provides free or low-cost health coverage for people with very low income. Under Rhode Island law currently, Medicaid recipients are prohibited from using their benefits to seek an abortion. The bill also allows state employees to use their state-funded insurance for abortions. And Rhode Island's version of Medicare for All will also be heard by the House Finance Committee today. The bill would establish a universal single-payer health insurance system. Under this system, Rhode Islanders would receive medical, dental, and vision coverage. To pay for it, taxes would increase on a progressive scale based on income. Rhode Island Democrats are divided on single-payer health care, and there is virtually no Republican support. Well, it's likely just a matter of time now before recreational amounts of cannabis are legalized in the state of Rhode Island, after the two key committees in the House and Senate voted for that yesterday. The Senate Judiciary Committee voting 9-1 in favor of the bill, and the House Finance Committee voting 12-2. This bill would also automatically wipe away previous convictions for possession of marijuana by July 1, 2024.
We know historically that there's support. It was just getting the language right, and I think we've gotten the language right this time.
The full House and Senate will vote on the cannabis legislation next week. And after some back and forth this week, RIPTA will in fact have express beach service this summer after all. The governor making that announcement. According to RIPTA, the governor and RIPTA CEO Scott Avedisian came to that agreement. The announcement coming 2 days after RIPTA announced the service would be ending due to low ridership. The governor saying in a tweet that this is not the time to cancel the service. And honors classes are back on the agenda for the Barrington School Committee tonight. The committee will provide an update on the status of those classes. There was an outcry from parents after officials decided to cancel the honors distinction option in next year's program of studies. But work has since been underway to rework the program instead of canceling it entirely after a special meeting where parents were able to air their concerns. And now to the Celtics in the playoffs. Game 2 for the C's tonight in Miami as they look to even up the Eastern Conference Finals. The C's blew a lead in the third quarter and lost in Game 1 Tuesday. A big storyline of that game, the absence of two key Celtics. We know Al Horford is doubtful to return from COVID protocols for Game 2. But Marcus Smart is probable despite his foot injury. Tip-off tonight at 8:30. The Miami Heat, by the way, remain undefeated at home in the playoffs. Still to come, rocky days on Wall Street. As inflation fears seep into the stock market, we'll have the latest on the economy. Plus, President Biden using defense powers to help alleviate the baby formula crisis, what that means for moms and dads. And later, that's Dr. Swift to you. Taylor's new title, thanks to NYU. Back now with consumer news. There's trouble on the economic front as financial experts say people are adjusting their spending habits in response to inflation, and gas prices hover above $4 a gallon across the country. ABC's Alexis Christoforous reports.
Another ugly day expected on Wall Street as investors worry that high inflation may finally be catching up with consumers. The Dow adding to Wednesday's 1,100-point drop and the S&P 500 nearing a bear market, down nearly 20% from its recent high. The stunning sell-off triggered by weaker than expected profits from retail giants Target, Walmart, and Kohl's, each saying higher costs for wages and transportation are pinching profits. Consumers are still spending, but they're starting to adjust their spending habits as they face higher prices on everything from milk to workout clothes.
In high inflationary times, you tend to buy things that are more staple than they are discretionary, and that's likely to be the case throughout the summer. But I still believe there's a massive pent-up demand for getting out and about. So I think we're going to have a very active travel and leisure season.
Gas prices are now above $4 a gallon in all 50 states, and they're expected to go even higher as we enter the busy summer driving season. Economists say strong consumer demand, persistent supply chain disruptions, more COVID-induced lockdowns in China, and now the war in Ukraine have created the perfect storm to push consumer prices to a 40-year high. The Federal Reserve answering back by aggressively raising interest rates to curb consumer demand. But those higher rates also bring the increased risk of a recession. 68% of CEOs surveyed by the Conference Board now expect the Fed's war on inflation to trigger a recession sometime next year. And proof today that a pillar of our economy is starting to crack. Home resales fell in April to the lowest level since the start of the pandemic. Buyers dealing with higher mortgage rates, rising prices, and a shortage of available homes. Alexis Christoforous, ABC News, New York.
Well, coming up, the drastic step the president is taking to get manufacturers the ingredients they need to make baby formula. And it's back to business. The Academy Awards reverting to its old ways for the Oscars. Now on to the nation's baby formula shortage and the new steps the government is taking. Congress passing 2 bills overnight that will address the shortage. This as President Biden uses his executive powers to ramp up supply using foreign manufacturers. ABC's Eka Jachi has more.
The baby formula shortage continues to maintain a tight grip on American families.
What are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to sit here and watch our kids suffer?
All across the country, cars lining up in parking lots waiting for free formula like this one in Charlotte. And in Memphis, this children's hospital forced to feed 2 infants through an IV. That special formula they rely on, not available. Now, the White House stepping in.
I've directed my team to do everything possible to ensure there's enough safe baby formula and that it's quickly reaching families that need it the most.
President Biden using the Defense Production Act, the 1950s law that lets the government direct private companies to take actions deemed in the national interest. He's ordering manufacturers that make baby formula's key ingredients to prioritize orders from formula companies. Biden also launched Operation Fly Formula, which directs the Department of Defense to use its commercial aircraft to pick up overseas infant formula that meets U.S. health and safety standards in order to get formula on store shelves faster. Congress taking action as well. Overnight, the House passing 2 bills. The first would allow more formula to be purchased with money from a federal program for low-income families. The second bill approved a measure to spend $28 million to help the FDA increase formula supply.
We want to be as quick as possible, but we must be safe and we must be cautious.
Now, the Federal Trade Commission is putting out a new alert warning consumers about scammers taking advantage of the current formula shortage. They're saying online thieves are charging sky-high prices for formula that never arrives. Ika Jachi, ABC News, Washington.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Tim Studebaker.
So we had some showers out there for much of the morning. The light rain kind of putting a dent in the pollen levels, which is great news if you are allergic to tree pollen or any other pollen that's out there. We brought those levels down to the medium category today because of the rain. The rain, though, coming to an end very shortly here, and we will hold on to clouds and fog for much of the afternoon. So I don't think we're going to see a huge spike in the pollen levels later today, but we will see the pollen levels right back up there for Friday, Saturday, and into Sunday. So grab the allergy medication if you need it. Rain coming to an end as we speak. We will have some clouds and fog to deal with for the rest of this afternoon. That will keep temperatures very much on the cooler side for the rest of your Thursday. Not on the cool side heading toward the weekend, though. Hot and humid weather making a return over the weekend. And while it's humid everywhere across southern New England, the temperatures will be tempered a little bit at the coast thanks to winds coming in off the water. Pretty familiar scenario to our viewers, of course. But hot temperatures inland. Those of you away from the coast over the weekend are going to make a run for the 90s Saturday and Sunday. Sunday night, a cold front will approach. That brings some showers, maybe some rumbles of thunder, but also brings much more pleasant conditions heading into the beginning of the work week. Last of the showers moving through mostly south of Providence, southern half of Rhode Island, southern half of southeastern Massachusetts, seeing some continued shower activity right now. But looking off to the west, things are significantly less showery out that way. Just some cloud cover and some fog. The fog is already showing itself on the visibility map here. You can see 1 3/4 mile visibility for westerly, 3 miles in Providence, 3 miles in Newport right now. So clouds and fog for the rest of the afternoon. And because we're really not seeing much in the way of sunshine today, temperatures are not going to spike. They're not going to move really from where we've been most of the morning. We've been in the 50s all morning. We're in the 50s at the noon hour. We'll stay in the 50s this afternoon, and we'll stay in the 50s overnight tonight too. Winds around 9, 10, 11, 12 miles per hour right now, mostly out of the south off of the water. So that'll kind of reinforce that coastal fog. And as we go into the next couple of days here, humidity is still relatively pleasant for now. That's going to change, though, going into the weekend, into the uncomfortable range by Saturday into Sunday, and temperatures will be hot, too. So the light rain from this morning is coming to an end. Now it's mostly clouds and fog for the rest of the afternoon and into the evening. Temps staying in the 50s all day today. We're in the 50s tonight, but the low 50s at that. Clouds and some patchy fog overnight tonight. On your Storm Tracker 7-day forecast, we'll start to turn warmer on Friday. Humidity is not too much of a concern yet on Friday. A mix of sun and clouds and temps reaching the 70s. Hot and humid weather over the weekend, though, both Saturday and Sunday. A mix of sun and clouds. Muggy conditions, temperatures away from the water making a run toward the 90s, and then cooler at the coastline, though. A cold front Sunday night brings a shower chance as well as maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and then Lower humidity, much more pleasant conditions and cooler temperatures, 60s and 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and into your Wednesday. Doreen.
Tim, thanks. The new title for Taylor Swift, and it's not for her next album. The pomp and circumstance around the new honor next. In today's entertainment news, you can now call her Dr. Taylor Swift. The pop star received an honorary doctorate in fine arts from New York University at a commencement ceremony held in Yankee Stadium.
I'd like to thank NYU for making me, technically, on paper at least, a doctor. Not the type of doctor you would want around in case of an emergency. Unless your specific emergency was that you desperately needed to hear a song with a catchy hook and an intensely cathartic bridge section.
Swift also joked that she was there with the class of 22 because she has a song called 22. Well, Grammy-winning artist Lizzo is teaming up with HBO Max for a new documentary. It has the tongue-in-cheek title of Untitled Lizzo Documentary. It follows the singer, songwriter, rapper, and flautist as she changed popular music and culture. Lizzo says she's excited to share her journey from her humble beginnings to international stardom. Netflix is losing more of its long-term subscribers. Data showed subscribers who've been with the service for more than 3 years accounted for 13% of cancellations in the first quarter of 2022. And overall cancellations jumped to 3.6 million. And speaking of streaming, the Academy is reverting to the old requirements for an Oscar nomination. Going forward, a film must come out in a theater first in order to be considered. They must also fall within the calendar year. Next year's Oscars are on March 12th. Well, coming up, you are cleared for delivery. A woman gives birth mid-flight. The baby's clever middle name. And we'll check back in with Tim for another look at that afternoon forecast right after this. Well, finally today, a flight attendant jumped into action to help a passenger deliver a baby mid-flight. The mom went into an early and unexpected labor on a recent Frontier Airlines flight from Denver to Orlando. And that flight attendant calmly led the mom to the back bathroom and helped deliver the baby girl. The plane was diverted where paramedics were standing by at the gate to help. Mom decided to give her new baby the middle name Sky. Pretty appropriate, I would say, Tim.
It is, yeah. And I feel like you have to give flight crews a lot of credit.
Yeah.
They train for all sorts of different scenarios, that, of course, being one of them. So good job to that flight attendant, and congratulations to mom and baby. We're doing okay out there as we head into the afternoon. And by okay, I mean we've gotten rid of a lot of the rainfall from earlier today. Just a few showers left. Clouds and fog for the rest of this afternoon. I do think mainly dry roads for the commute home later today. Temperatures are stuck in the 50s, though. A little warmer by Friday into the 70s. Then we're hot and humid over the weekend. Cooler at the coast. Rain Sunday night into the overnight thanks to a cold front, maybe a few rumbles of thunder, and that will bring in some more pleasant conditions early in the week. Doreen.
What a switch, Tim. All right, thank you. And thank you for joining us for ABC6 News at noon. The news continues first at 4. Have a great day, everybody.